Good morning. Actually, it is good afternoon now. Good afternoon. Who's ready to paint some Star Wars characters? Because it's me. It's definitely me today. Let's see. First, coffee. It's a late start for coffee for me, but it's a Saturday. I slept in. I had a very lazy morning, so pardon me while I caffeinate for the first time today. I was also very excited. I found this Star Wars lo-fi channel. So that is what we are listening to. And oh yeah, I'm trying out, I'm still working with these new brushes, and my muscle memory was just like, whoa, that is different. So that was cool. But yeah, these are so soft. I got two new brands. These ones are super soft, and then this other set I have, which looks identical. Like, look at that. These are the same. But these are so much stiffer, and I don't dislike it, but it's different. So I'm gonna flip them back and forth between the two to see how I like them, you know, what sort of different uses they have. But so today I'm trying these softer bristles. You can see how they just sort of bend and flex like that. It's so nice. But for this one, I just want to get the background out of the way real quick first, because it's just a sort of brick texture back there. Lots of water. And then just laying it in there, making sure it kind of covers smoothly. I'm gonna be kind of careful around these edges, but a lot of his clothing is much darker than the background, so I'm not too worried about any going over a little bit. But just to sort of, you know, maintain my control as much as I can, as much as you can with watercolor. Watercolor is, I mean, it's literally fluid, so it has a tendency to just sort of do its own thing, and you have to learn to go with that. Get that little corner there, I think inside his hand and behind that bag, and that little triangle there. Oh yeah, and then under his arm. There we go. All right, now can I clip this back down? There we go. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry, because then we're gonna come and wash more color on top of it and then get all the texture and fun stuff like that. So we'll come back to that. Actually, I lied. I might do a little more of this surface. It's a very pink rock texture. So I'm just gonna dash some of that in there. And then we'll come back with more of this burnt sienna and really kind of punch up the edges. And I like doing that while it's still wet to get that smooth gradient between the two. So who here has seen Andor and enjoyed it? Because I loved it. Hello. Haven't seen it. I highly recommend it if you enjoy Star Wars. Even if you don't enjoy Star Wars, it was really well done. I liked the plot a lot in this one, and the characters were freaking fantastic. But I will also fully admit my biases with Star Wars because I grew up watching Star Wars, so I will enjoy literally anything in the Star Wars universe. I'm just happy to see more of that world fleshed out. It's so cool. Okay, so let's get into his outfit. He's wearing, so his coat is brown, but his jacket and pants are overall kind of navy with some different detail in there. So let's see. These look like the same drawings in my son's coloring books. Nice. These, oh, thank you for that. Spot under the right arm, yes. Just a little, kind of in there a little bit, but it's a little light, so just fill that in. We'll add more to that later. Yeah, I did draw these myself, but they are from a photo and traced and then inked by hand, so a little wonkiness, but it's just a sketchbook for practice. This is specifically my portrait practice sketchbook because it is in portrait orientation, so I thought it would be punny to do just face portraits and practice that because I would like to get better at doing recognizable people in watercolor. So this is how I'm doing it with TV show characters. I can actually give you a little flip through what I got so far. I started with the new Game of Thrones series, and then Rings of Power, and then we did Wednesday, and I skipped this page. I will come back to it, but I got the crap, what's it called? Arcane characters. I just felt like doing something a little more complex today. These are a little more cartoony style. I just wasn't feeling it, so I wanted to do these instead, but we'll go back to this. Let's move our clip back up here and then touch up that. Okay, so now let's try and just block in some of his outfit colors. Oh, it's hard because it's usually with watercolors you work light to dark, and the lightest part is obviously like his face and hands, but they're gonna need such like careful detail. I don't want to go there quite yet, and I want to get that color out of there. But let's see. So do I want? I'm gonna try this blue. That is very blue, but we'll work on that. Getting a little bit of that Cantina song in the background. Found a Star Wars lo-fi channel. I hope it's not gonna break copyright or anything if I try and post this on YouTube later, but we'll see. Sometimes you just take the loss for the experience. Alright, this is all also blue. Okay. I'm so scared of going too dark with this, but I can always just add more water. So these two kind of like shoulder seams coming down here are actually more of an olive green, so I'm going to avoid that so I don't muddy it up with blue. We'll see how successful I will be at that. What channel is this? You mean the music channel? It is, let me look. It is the Star Wars Ultimate Lo-Fi Study Compilation, No Words or Voice Lines, on the Flame of Arda YouTube channel. And I do know words because words distract my brain. Okay, there's the blue blocked in. I want to touch on that green just so I remember not to go over that with something else, which I have done before. No, not Arthur Morgan. I have never played Red Dead Redemption. I have a feeling I would enjoy it, but I have so many other games on my list. But no, this is Cassian Andor from the Andor show. And I loved, okay, one of the things, I'm gonna geek out for a moment. I loved the outfits in this show, just like it's like sci-fi, but like rural punk. It's just so cool. And like the villagers had fantastic, like knitwear and like fiber, like natural wools and woven goods. I was just stunned at the costuming. For a sci-fi show. It was very rustic and I adored it. Okay, more brown. Okay, this is gonna like blend in with the background because it's kind of the same reddish brown to start, but it'll all come together. You gotta trust the process. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, I'm just getting started here, so you haven't missed much, but yeah, doing some portrait painting today of some Star Wars characters for practice. And yeah, I also, if you read my little note at the top there, I just released a like a 10-minute art studio tour of my workspace here in my apartment, and I'm kind of nervous about it. I haven't edited a long format video like that in a long time, so I'm a little rusty and a little nervous about being on camera for that long, but it's out there now, so if you're interested in that kind of content, it is there for you to check out. I would appreciate a like to get it rolling and out there for other people to see. But I get a lot of people ask sort of what space I'm working in and how I store all my stuff, so you get to see how I do that. It's like after a couple decades of collecting art supplies, you'll learn a thing or two about where to put them. I use a zebra brush pen for my outlines, which is waterproof once it's dry, and you can watercolor right on top. I highly recommend them. They come in different widths. I basically only use the fine pen though, which is the blue one. Okay, and this bag is a slightly different brown leather, so I'm gonna hit that with yellow instead, and that'll give it a different sort of undertone. As soon as I finish this flap. These are new brushes for me. I'm testing 2 new sets right now. These are the Princeton Neptunes, and they're actually travel brushes, so they pop apart like that, and then the brush can go inside the handle. There's just a tiny bit of wood there. It's probably nothing fancy. But these are really nice and soft and flexible. The other set I'm testing is the Kolinsky Mimics, but they're much firmer, which I don't dislike, but it has a little different thing to get used to. I think I like the softer style, which is more like my other set of Kolinsky Mimics. But these ones are old and starting to fray, so I needed to get some new ones. Yeah, the travel versions are great. Because I do like to take my sketchbook out and go paint in coffee shops and whatnot. I kind of need the travel brushes. There was another point I was going to make with these, and it just left my brain. Maybe more coffee. Ooh, already up past 2,000 likes. Thanks, y'all. All right, now what? Oh yeah, I said I was gonna do the bag in a little yellow, because it's kind of an olivey yellow green leather color. So we'll just start with the yellow, so build from there. And his buckle. Well, this song is epic. This is very Mandalorian vibes, which I love that show. That's probably my favorite in the Star Wars universe right now. The cinematography on that show is brilliant, and I adore it. Like, it's great just background TV for the scenes. Ugh, love it. Oh yeah, that's the other point I was gonna make, is the travel brush sets are usually a better deal, because you'll get 4 or 5 brushes, or 3 to 5 brushes depending on the set, usually for like 10 to 20% off of buying each brush individually. So it's kind of hard to beat just going with a little kit. And like you see, these come with like a little folding magnetic closer thing. Like if these were actually put away, it would snap all the way around. These actually I don't love, but my first set, which I'm probably just going to recycle this thing, I adore. It flips around, Velcros shut like that. And it's much easier to get the brushes in and out of here than those little elastic things for some reason. So I'm probably just gonna grab what I want out of these and put them in that old case and reuse it. Okay, now for the dark browns. This is yeah, where all the layers are gonna start coming in, because first of all, this is primarily this dark brown, which is why I saved that. Oh my gosh, see, this fine detail space is maybe where a flexible brush is not my friend. So maybe I'm gonna grab the smaller brush out of that stiffer set and try it there, but let me unload all the paint from this. Okay. Okay, tiny brush, go away. I'm gonna grab this tiny brush, which is a little stiffer. And this is, again, the Kolinsky Mimics. So it's a synthetic sable brush hair. I think is what they're going for. And we're doing brown. Yeah, see, this gives me more control because the tip isn't flexing and bending and swooshing all over the place. So yeah, I'm gonna like that more for my smaller areas, especially because in my old set, my brushes went down to a size 2, and in these new sets, they only go down to a size 4, and I was like, no, my tiny brush. How do I paint small? When in reality, because all of these brushes come to a very fine point, you should be able to paint fine detail with any of them, even this like big chonky boy here. But I just see small brushes as insurance for my shaky hands. So I like to have one. This also holds less water, so it's easier to paint harder lines, if that makes sense. Because it's a little drier, so that's something to note. Like, it's taking me more brush strokes to actually like fill in an area like this because it's not just fanning out everywhere. But that's just because I'm being too lazy to switch to a larger brush. I actually want to do another layer of sienna before I get into the shadows of the rest of the coat, just because it is more vibrant than that. And I just love obnoxiously vibrant colors, so part of my style. Hello, Melissa. Good morning. I'm doing well. Well, it's just afternoon for me, but I am on my first cup of coffee of the day still, so I'm considering it morning. It's a very big cup of coffee. I like brewed up a whole like 4-cup Chemex thing. Or I guess I don't know. And the whole thing fit in my mug with like no room for milk. So I had a little contest of like how fast could I sip the very hot coffee down to add room for just a little bit of milk, as is my preference. It was a harrowing 5 minutes. But I'm caffeinated and painting Star Wars characters with Star Wars lo-fi going on, so it's a pretty grand morning. I need to learn more about watercolors because I tend to paint the colors I see in the reference photo. Thanks, Melissa. That's less about watercolors and more about color theory and learning to see, because I'm also painting the colors I see in the reference photo, but because my palette is only 24-ish colors, actually 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 colors, minus black, I'm not counting black. You have to learn how to blend those colors with what you have. And that's more of a learn to see thing than a watercolor thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but that will apply to any medium. Yeah, also with watercolors, because they're transparent, you sort of learn to see what the color cast is underneath. So like I was saying, like his jacket is primarily this reddish brown, but some of the details are just the medium brown, so I left that. And then the bag is a more yellow brown leather. Like it's gonna get darker, but I'm gonna start with yellow so that sort of glows underneath. Same with his clothing. It's mostly navy, but then we're gonna layer other colors on top to blend and get to the value we need. So speaking of, let's see. Oh yeah, I sort of neglected this belt. Yeah, I feel like I need to do a video series somehow explaining how artists see, because I see so many young artists especially just baffled by like how to look at something instead of like drawing from your head or what you think it looks like. And it's really just learning how to look at the world with an artistic eye and just translating that to paper. I don't know how to explain it. I'm gonna have to noodle on that for a while, but yeah, it's a how to see thing, not a how to draw thing. Okay, let's do, I'm gonna move to a flexier brush. Actually, I want my Flexi 4. And we'll come in with more of the dark brown. First of all, this needs to get way darker still. So I'm just gonna keep layering here. So, okay, see how like bendy this is? Let's look at this. I wanna compare these. So this, like the whole stack of bristles moves. It is almost a line with this one. Compared to this one, where just the tip bends and like the whole thing arcs. That is the difference between these two brushes. I like that. What kind of notebook do I use? This is a Kickstarter notebook that I got, but it's got 100% cotton watercolor paper in it. Normally for my other sketchbooks, I'm using a Reflections watercolor journal. It's Reflections spelled with an X. And but really anything that is 100% cotton is going to be your best bet for watercolor paper. That's what's going to hold all of your pigment and display your colors the best. Okay, it's going to be Payne's Gray time pretty soon here. Just joined, I missed the character. This is Cassian Andor from the Andor series. I have his name down here, but it's really tiny, so you might not be able to see that. On the next page I have Marva. I loved her character. Yeah, these are just some folks from Star Wars, because I'm practicing my portrait drawing, or portrait painting. And better practice on TV characters than on friends and family, because if you you mess that up, it's gonna be a sad time. But if you mess up a TV character, like, they're not gonna get personally offended at you. But welcome. Glad you're here. Okay, where else am I missing browns? Okay, we got these patches. Thank you, Liska. Appreciate that. Yeah, these browns are so fun. I think I finally sort of have the set of browns that I really like to work with and can blend to make everything I want. So yeah, these are fun. I just have to sort of... He has such a variety of browns in this jacket though, it's like starting to get kind of fuzzy on like what I need where. Like this still needs to be more reddish. Alright, I might need to just take a break on working on his jacket for a minute, because let that be. But I did forget this little gold clip there. Okay, and I'm gonna come in with a little more green on here because it's kind of a greenish brown bag, and I just want to keep adding those layers in. And then these are also green. Just darken those up a little bit. Okay, now I think I want to start going in with the Payne's Gray on the outfit. His shirt is also green. Let's do that real quick. That little triangle right there. Okay, Payne's Gray is hard to see how much I have on the brush, so I usually have a little puddle of it here that I can sort of draw from and get a better sense of how much is there. So I'm gonna actually zoom in because he is like way off to the side here in my reference image. Okay. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. I'm working on it. But I think getting the darker shadows in is where these really start to sort of pop into the world. Because then they start to get that real dimension. I have a watercolor set and the colors feel chalky when I reactivate them. Is it normal? Depends on the watercolor set. Sounds like more like gouache actually, because gouache paint is also a water activated paint, and they actually add chalk to it to give it a more opaque and chalky texture to it. That helps it be more opaque. So maybe you have a gouache palette on your hands, or it could just be the quality of the set. It could just be a lower quality watercolor palette. But if you don't like it, I recommend trying like a student grade set. I know Winsor & Newton's Cotman watercolor palette is their student grade paint, and it's great. I was using it alongside the professional paints for quite a while, and they're lovely. Yeah, I think you can get a Cotman travel set for about 30 bucks for like maybe 12 colors. Ooh, I am just already getting lost in the sauce with some of these shadows. Okay. Some of this, so his pants are a slightly different tone from the rest of his outfit, so I'm just gonna mix up, there's a little green in there, so I'm gonna give it some of that. Like this. And I don't love that. Let's try that again. Just gonna sweep some of this up with Mr. Thirsty Brush and decide how else I'm gonna do that. Let's get rid of all of that, if I can. Yeah, okay. Okay. One sec. Okay, okay. Just had to check on one thing, but we're back to painting. Okay, this needs to be darker. We have a little shadow in here. Okay, now I'm gonna mix some brown in with this, just to help me with the shadow colors on the coat, not to get them too cool. So then it starts to look a little weird. Here we go. See, I just keep sort of like tinkering around with this paint color till I get what I want. There we go. And then I can apply it where it's needed. Okay, still missing some of the saturation I want in this sleeve. So I'm coming back with this burnt sienna. Just gonna punch that up a bit. Hello, Dana. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I thought you would enjoy this. And Star Wars lo-fi in the background. And if we have time, we're gonna do Marva next, so hang tight. Okay, I totally got distracted with the jacket again. Should probably return back to the rest of his little suit thing here. I'm gonna come in with more blue. And I totally mixed up where I'm gonna be primarily mixing these, but that's okay. I'm doing well. You know, like, didn't have my first cup of coffee until, 30 minutes ago, but we're going. It's a big cup, so here we are. Yes, that is the color I want. Okay, let's make sure. I just want the lightest touch of green in here because, yeah, it's like a slightly muddier blue in his pants. It's a little challenging to get that, but I'm trying. But then also, better shadows. These shadows are not working down here. There we go. Now these shadows are starting to work for me. That really helps create a round figure rather than a flat person. That's so fun. I love this part. And even so, you can even get the dimension in the clothes, and so you start to understand the layers a little more. Yeah, shadows. Yeah, shadows really bring it to life. Shadows, and then at the end, those highlight pops. Just ugh. All right, so now I'm still refining the bag colors. So let's get the browns on there that I want. which are really, so with the lighting in this, the brown I see is really only in the shadows. So this might look a little funny, but I think overall you'll get the impression of sort of an olive green brown bag. I hope. So that's one layer. That's not dark enough, but we're getting there. We'll build it up slowly. But that does mean we have to let this dry. Should I do a blow dryer to speed this along? I can, it's just very loud for y'all. Actually, yeah, let's color that in too. Okay. Beep, beep, beep. Ooh, or I can just fill in the base layer for his face and finally do that. Face and hand. I see you spamming that like button, David. Thank you. Gets us some more friends in here so we can all hang out and do art together. Okay, so okay, I want my stiffer brush now. So I like, yeah, I'm starting to sort of like build my preferred arsenal. I like having a smaller brush that has firmer bristles. Gives me a little more control and refinement. So let's, especially for these very tight areas in the face and the hands, it's gonna help a lot. So like he has a little more pigmentation in his knuckles and fingers. I'm gonna try and get that without being neon orange, so let's correct that a little bit. Maybe I want a little sienna instead. We do have our beloved Space Latinos, so I want to get that skin tone correct. So the other part is this side of his face, which is in shadow. Well, a little more shadow. So we'll start there and see where that gets us. And this is too dark, but we're gonna tone it down. It'll also dry a little lighter. Just things you learn over practice. Under the eye, in that eye socket, side of the nose. Holy smokes, you got me to 3K likes. Thank you. Macy says you always learn so much watching other people's painting techniques. Absolutely. I think I've learned so much seeing how other artists paint. A lot of things that are hard to explain, but I do like to try and put it into understandable words. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, I think the face is dry enough. I'm gonna try and get in the hair so he's not looking like a young Santa Claus. And we're gonna start with brown and see where that takes us. Isn't it though? This lo-fi channel is really hitting the mark for me. I started a different one and I was like, okay, I like this, but I'm gonna do Star Wars and I know there's Star Wars lo-fi out there. Let's see if I can find something. This is one I hadn't seen before, but I'm like, yes, this is great. I totally colored in his ear. That should not have been that color. Let's see if I can lift that really quick. Not bad, okay. Yeah, so when I noticed that, we use Mr. Thirsty Brush, which is basically drying out your brush as much as you can, and then using it like a sponge in any area that's still a little wet, and you can sort of lift any paint there that you didn't want. So, lighten that ear up. This is a station on YouTube. Let me pull it up. It is called the Star Wars Ultimate Lo-Fi Study Compilation, No Words or Voice Lines, on the Flame of Arda channel. Yeah, and I just searched Star Wars Lo-Fi. There's a bunch of folks doing this sort of thing. It's pretty great. Oh no, come back, my reference photo. Okay. I also love his fluffy hair. He has such great hair in this. Something about fluffy-haired boys just gets me. Your husband is the opposite. I mean, can't always get exactly what you wish for, but there are plenty of other qualities to look for. Okay, we're getting there. He's not quite this like sandy brown, but I'll just keep layering, getting a little darker as I go. Oh, he has a fluffy beard. Oh, that's funny. Okay, I'm looking at the face. I think I need to darken, well, his eyebrows for one. Let's see. Let's give him a little eyebrow pencil there. I also need to give his lips just a touch of color and then darken those eye sockets. Okay, eye sockets get just a little more sienna, maybe a smidge of brown in there. Okay, this looks ridiculous right now, but he will dry down a little lighter. You know, there's also usually a little more pigmentation right under the nose, and that's what I'm seeing. And that helps with that shadow too. We can actually probably use the same color for that little bit of lip I have here. That way, if I put too much like pink or red in there, it just ends up looking a little too lipsticky. So usually stick with just a more saturated skin tone color. And really only do that upper lip. I'm afraid to give Mennonite art lips because it makes them look like they're wearing lipstick. Yeah, like I said, yeah, just closer to the skin tone, only the upper lip. At least that's what I'm seeing in this. He has very thin lower lip. And yeah, avoid too much pink or red. Sometimes they still need a little bit. Let's see if I have... Whoops! Just flung that. So yeah, he has a little more of a blushy lip, but very pale. I think I probably still went a little heavy on there, but it's not too bad. I am not happy with how his face turned out, but again, this is practice, so. And then his, oh yeah, you can see they're much more orange. I think I just did like a dab of pink right on the very tip of like the Cupid's bow. But otherwise it's just like orangey brown. So. Hello, Anne-Marie. Yes, we are still here. I think we're close to wrapping up Andor here, or Cassian. I'm gonna do a little more background texture. Let's see about something like that. Actually, ooh, you know what'll help make this different? Purple. Lots of purple. Ooh, I think it started to rain? It's been very foggy today. I can't see it's a little obscured view out my window. Makes for very lovely diffused lighting to paint by, but yeah, I think it just started raining, which is great. Okay, I don't want to make him blend into the background too much, so I'm not sure if I love how that looks. Maybe let's try to lift and move some of this around and bring a little over here, just to, yeah, I don't know. My backgrounds are hit and miss. We'll see where this lands. So because I want this side to be a little lighter, I'm not using any more pigment to fill in this side. I'm just going to pick it up from over here where I don't want it and put it over here where I do want it, with water to help. So what's everyone else working on? Is this background entertainment for chores? Are you also doing art? What's everyone's Saturday looking like? It's the Great Pigment Migration. Yes, it is. That is perfect. I'm gonna steal that if you don't mind for this technique. Pigment migration. Haha, I love it. And just to keep this fun, all the rocks I see down here are gonna be purple. Background while I play Timberborn. What is Timberborn? I did not know that. Working, but I wish I was painting. Have a work on progress at home. Oh, I know that feeling. I hope you can get to it soon, and I hope the inspiration sticks with you. And if you need more, I've uploaded a couple of these live streams on my YouTube channel. I should probably remember to upload a couple more. I have a few backlogged. And then I do, you know, like time lapses of most things. If you need, it won't be live company, but it'll be recorded. It'll be very similar. Cleaning your room, good job. Awesome. Well, I hope you're enjoying the art you're seeing. Must be fun to check in, like, see like swaths of it changed. Oh, speaking of swaths, I need to come back and fiddle with the details in his bag. I forgot to do that. So we need darker shadows. It's funny because I'm like, I have no issue with your volume, with me being on high volume in your apartment while you clean, but like posting the YouTube video I posted this morning, which is 10 minutes of me talking in front of the, well, more or less in front of the camera about my like apartment art studio, just is making me so nervous. I don't know why it's different. I guess because you don't see my face right now. Because that's not the important part of this, but Yeah, I guess it's just having my face in front of the camera that's making me nervous. But I am excited about that video. I've been working on it. I had the idea and working on it for a while. I was like, this is just not gonna, this is gonna be too long for TikTok. So I guess I'm finally gonna like cut together a long form YouTube video, and it's took a while. I'm rusty with video editing, but we got it done. And it's also mostly for my own record. I want to see a comparison of how my space has changed to next year. Because I know this time a year ago, my area was set up totally differently, and it was not working for me, and it slowly evolved to work better, and I'm sure it's going to evolve more. So okay, I think we're just about done with Cassian here. Just sort of scanning if there's anything else weird I missed. I kind of like it. I think like there's some differences, like his shirt area here is not as vibrant in the original art, or original photo really. But I think if I were to tone it down as much as it is in the image, it wouldn't be as artistic. I don't know. But yeah, what do you guys say we move on to paint Marva? I'm really excited about hers. Let's see if I can find the reference image in here somewhere. There she is. Oh, this reference image is dark. I think I made an edited version that like lightened it, because let me see if I can show this to y'all. Also, if you guys could spam that like button, we'll get a bunch of new people in here as we start the next image. And that way they can join us from the beginning. But like, look how dark this reference photo is. So I think I'm going to edit this. Where's my edit button? Or can I not edit this because it's in a shared album? Hang on. Okay, yeah, I have to make a copy into my library on here. That's the downside of using the shared albums. Thank you, Julie. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Okay, here we go. Now I can edit. So, turn this brightness up, and we're gonna just see what auto does. Not bad. Let's do increased exposure, and then I can see all the colors better. And that's much better. Maybe shadows up a little. And like we're getting some blown out highlights. Maybe we can dial the exposure back down. I think that'll be better. Just so I can see a little more of what I'm working with. Done. Cool. Back over here. And plug it back in, because this is an old iPad and the battery's not great. Marva, I know. Oh dear, don't scare me like that, Emery. I don't know what that means. Okay, Marva, I think we're gonna start with her face and work out. So sort of opposite of him, because I wanted to save his face for last because it was so small and detaily, but hers is like really big in the main focus. So that's another thing I'm trying to practice with my portraits is, you know, doing full body distant portraits where the face is really small, and it's going to be that kind of challenge versus like really large detailed focus. I also wanted to practice someone who is older. So she has a lot more lines and wrinkles and details in her face that I wanted to get. And I didn't want to go overboard with inking. So let's see if I can get more of that with watercolor, see how that goes. All right. Do I want to start with a brush this big? Yep. Be brave. Be brave. Okay. And I gotta be careful to avoid her eyes so I don't give her orange eyes. Okay, so I'm learning, one of my preferred techniques is to do the face when it's this close, to do it wet and wet, to add in the softer color shifts and saturation. So let's see. I'm using my size 6, so we're bringing it down just a little bit. And we're still using this, like, it's a Winsor orange, which is very bright, but it will get toned down. And we're coming in around the contours of her face with that more saturated color. Hello there, welcome. I don't have a set live schedule, it's just as I can fit it in around my work week. So usually evenings, Central Time, or on weekends like this. I'm kind of pondering if I should do a scheduled, like, once a week. Is probably about all I could manage on certain, you know, pick a day and just practice live. Yeah, I think that would help me stay a little more accountable with some of my watercolor practice, because there are some weeks where I'm just not sure if I will fit it in. But if I have at least one day where I know that's what I plan on doing, I can sort of fit my other stuff around that. I'm using two different types of brushes right now. I'm testing two different sets. The softer flexy ones with the gold handles are the Princeton Neptunes, and then I have a silver handled brush that are the Kolinsky Mimics. They're a little stiffer. So I'm sort of going back in between these two depending on what I need. They're pricey brushes, they're not necessary if you're just starting out, but that's what I've been using. Okay, so she has very deep lighting. We have a very bright backlit window, so that's why she's got the lighter side over there, and then very deep shadows on this side of her face. So I'm gonna start getting those in. I think I'm gonna have to do her irises soon, so we don't have this soulless stare, which is bothersome for me personally. Let's see. Time for laundry. Oh no. She has kind of like, I'm seeing bits of blue. They might be like hazel. But just to be cautious, I'm going to start with a light blue. And then I'm going to try, actually, I'm going to use just a random little bit of what's over here. Touch it in that side. Okay, now we're coming in. Oops, we got a little bit of bleed right here. Sweep that up. And then correct it with a little burnt umber there. There we go. Actually, let's see if I can. Got a little wild over here. Ooh, and she has a really, looks like they even put like red under eyeliner. Let's see if I can just get a little pinkish tone from what I've got on my palette there. That'll also help get these little corners of the eyes. I'll sweep across there. And that's actually very similar to her lip color. So I'm gonna do a little sweep here. But then you know what I'm missing are some of these little wrinkles around the mouth. I just want to very delicately touch a couple of those in there. Okay, and then next we're gonna go in with the burnt umber and really get the next dark layer on her face. Hopefully. This song is giving me like visiting an alien planet that's full of nature vibes. I don't know. What do you guys think? I like it. Okay, I might need to take a break on her face. I think there's a couple little spots where I need to come back in once I know it's fully dry. Although I'm sort of noticing I missed some more wrinkles. Let's try a little bit of this over here. Yeah, the exploring vibes, that's definitely it. Okay, gonna let the face dry there. And we're gonna do some of her jacket and background, which is yellow and red. Let's do the yellow because that will be the lighter color, and reds really, reds get dangerous, so we'll save that for just a bit. And these are kind of the same yellow, so they're just sort of gonna run into each other. I love yellow ochre. This is such a great color. If you're looking to build a watercolor palette, put this near the top of your list. This is a great color to have. Ooh, also reminder, because I'm feeling it right now, stretch your legs. Ooh! I've had mine folded underneath me for that whole first painting and into this one, and that just started complaining, so. Ooh, stretch them out under there, getting some blood flow back. Hello. As we like to call it, unshrimp. Straighten your spine. And hydrate, if you haven't done that in a minute. Welcome back, yay! Laundry is in. Do you want to come do my laundry next? Although I don't know if it's time. I've got to time it so I have a load of fresh clothes that includes the things I need to pack for my trip. And that's like next week. Eee! It's almost here. Okay, gonna size down a little bit, and I want to add a little brighter yellow just on the side of this chair. Some of that wool texture that I was talking about earlier that I love so much of this show. It's so great. I seriously, like, I gotta, like, look up the costume designer for Andor and just compliment them on all the fiber arts and woven wool, like, rustic wool textures in this show. I love it so freaking much. Like, I've never paid more attention to the costuming of a show than this one because I was just geeking out so much about how great it was. I do have laundry in unit, which is why it's very difficult for me to leave this apartment because it's got a washer and dryer and dishwasher in this unit, and that is a hard combo to find without paying an arm and a leg. Or having to rent your machines. I've had to do that before. I'm like, this is bizarre and I don't like it. Like, I don't do enough laundry to justify that cost, but I also don't want to leave my apartment to go do laundry in another building. Like, I hate that. Yeah, the triple whammy, like getting all three of those. Usually when I'm apartment hunting, I'm like, it must have at least one or the other. I will do without one of those, but not neither, you know? I'm not doing laundry in another building and dishes by hand, but I will sacrifice one if I have to. So yeah, when I found this place, I was like, heck yeah. Okay, I'm still scared to do red because that's gonna just really change up what's happening everywhere else, but let's see if I can just add in just a couple shadows in the yellows to get me going in that direction. And I'm gonna finally use some of this raw umber, which is a more kind of cool tan compared to the yellow ochre, even though they're quite similar. I usually group it more with the browns in my mind and on my palette, obviously. I have neither, but a full-sized oven and fridge is big for an NYC studio. Yeah. As a, you know, solo apartment dweller, I've never needed a full oven. I was like, why can't we, like, size this down or go with, you know, smaller range? I don't know. It's like they expect me to cook way more than I ever actually do. Yeah, I don't need a full range. I don't need a full-size oven. Like, I'm only ever doing, like, yeah, like, smaller. So I could do, like, a 2-burner range and oven, narrower oven, because, like, I think the only time I've ever needed that much volume is the one, actually, yeah, 2020, when I decided, why not? I'm gonna cook a full turkey for myself. And it was great. But that's the only time I've ever used that much space in an oven, and I don't need that on the regular, so I could definitely do without. But yeah, gimme that little washer dryer combo unit instead. Heck yeah. I know those take forever to dry, but I will take that over having to haul all my stuff to another building. Okay, well, I'm gonna get some of the value that I need in here because it's much darker shadow behind her head, and I don't want to lose that context before I put in these reds. Hello, Haley Skywalker. This is probably your jam, I'm gonna guess. Yeah, I was in a Star Warsy mood today, so we're doing Star Wars characters and some Star Wars lo-fi. And this is making me want to rewatch Andor. I haven't done a rewatch yet, but I could easily do that. And I don't often rewatch TV, but this show is just so dang good. Thank you. I'm, yeah, practicing portraits in this book, and I need to practice older people, so who better than Marva? That actually makes me want to go back into the face a little bit and tweak a few areas. And then I know I want to get back to So I don't know if you all feel similarly, but I think the female characters that have been written in Star Wars in recent years have been so good. I love Marva. I loved, crap, what was her name? The Mon Mothma character. And the lady in the purple gown in the Force Awakens. Is that also Mon Mothma? Oh yeah, Fennec Shand was great. Yeah, like so many badass women like out there just being rebels, doing cool shit, being amazing and independent and not needing no man. Like, it's fabulous. I wish I had more of those growing up. Vel at the family dinner. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, Vel in general, like seeing her transformation without trying to say it without spoilers, but like I was like, I have a feeling, and then later on I was like, yep, I knew it, love her. Okay, so do I want to do her hair next? Yeah, I'm still scared of this red, so I'm gonna do her hair next, which she has gray hair, so we want to get some of those shadows without getting too crazy. I know some of it I'm gonna have to come back with some white ink to get the little gray highlights, but we're gonna try some of this. She also has curly hair, which is a different challenge for me. I don't often do curly hair, at least not this detailed or close, so I have no idea what I'm doing. It also does get very dark behind her head here though, so I don't have to go too hard. I think that worked out. What do you guys think? How are those curls looking? Got a couple little face framing pieces. We got the lighter side and some shadows here. This all just kind of turns into mud back here, but I might embellish a little. Thank you. Okay. I mean, curls are kind of fun. I like that. Ah, cute. While we're back here, this might be where I start to try and mix up my reds. I'm gonna start with this warmer red. This is my cadmium free red, so it's cadmium red, but minus the cadmium. I also have Scarlet Lake right here, which is actually much more orangey. Let's see about some of that. But I mostly want that to swipe in this window frame back here. But then I'm gonna come bring this burnt sienna on top because it's not quite that vibrant. And then this umber back here for the rest of the frame. And because it's blurry, oh, hang on, I got a lot of red in there. See, red just gets everywhere. That's why I'm a little worried. But because this is blurry, I'm just taking a wet brush and I'm gonna swipe between these two and hopefully they will sort of fuzz the edges. Oop, yep, there we go. Without me having to do much. And I'm actually gonna try to do the same thing right along here. There we go. Then that takes the focus off of any hard edges back there. All right. I'm actually gonna do the similar thing. There's like just some stuff back here. Most of this is just pure white from a window. But I'm just putting water down here because I want to do this wet and wet again. And there's just like fuzzy outlines of, you know, machinery and stuff, but it's a very pale purple. So I want to see if I can get that very carefully. And just go swoop. And then swoop. Swoop, swoop, swoop. With some sound effects to help. Actually, that purple works really well because it's a contrasting color to yellow, which is right there. Color theory. Use it to your advantage. And now I don't think I can avoid the red anymore. I'm scared. Okay, we might actually use my stiffer brush. And that will help give me a little more control with the reds I'm about to use. So I have the warm red mixed here. I'm gonna also have a cool red that I'm gonna mix to the side because there's a bit of both. So I want to be able to switch between them. And they're going to start out very vibrant, and then I'm going to do a layer on top with the shadows to help tone them down. So warmer reds go here. Oh, and I have a hair in this. Probably a cat hair. Alright, this is all just really in dark shadow, but I want to get that red, basically underpainting layer, because it will still show through a bit. And then this sort of like placket here is the cooler red, so I'm going to use that other color there. There we are. Almost fun. Almost fun. Almost finished with this one. Almost fun. All right, there we go. What other Star Wars characters have I done? These are it so far. The rest of this book, well, we'll actually let that dry for a minute and do a quick little peek. This is my portrait sketchbook because it's portrait orientation. I started with a couple of Game of Thrones characters. And then we did Rings of Power. You can tell kind of what order I watched things in. Then we did Wednesday and Enid. I skipped painting this because I just wasn't feeling it just yet, but we're going to do the Arcane characters. And yeah, Star Wars. So I'm sure I'll do more as more TV series roll out and I watch them, but this is it so far. Ooh, doing a quick stretch. Don't forget to take breaks when you're painting. Hey, thank you for the rose. We call it unshrimping because you know you're folded over like a shrimp when you're working on your art. Ooh, there we go. And we've still got a little coffee left. Let's do that. And then on to more reds. See how that's a much cooler red compared to this other one on here? I think a lot of younger artists think red is red. It's like, no, everything can go cool or warm, even if it's already a cool or warm color. And that's an important part of color theory, is knowing which of those go. If you've ever mixed two colors together expecting if I mix the warmer red with yellow expecting orange, but it's a cool red, it's going to be a really muddy orange because it's got that cooler color in there. And it might not have been what you expected. But if I were to mix that with a warmer red, then I'll get a nice, bright, vibrant, sunny orange. So understanding those relationships will really help a lot with your color mixing. I'm also going to use this cooler red in my shadow areas because the shadows are cooler, but I still want to keep that red color. And just layering it on top of the warm red will help get that saturation. Thank you, Sarah. Again, this is where it really starts to pop and exist in the world as a 3D object instead of a 2D panel of color. I always love the shadow part, shadow stages. Might need to get a little undersheet here so I can go off the edge without accidentally painting the page underneath, which looks like I already did a little bit over there. Hang on, let's find some sort of scrap, which is oddly hard to find despite having all the materials and resources around me. Where do I have scrap paper? Haha. that too big? A little too big. Let's try. And then a little off this side. Ooh. That needs to be folded. Okay. There we go. Now I can go off the edge a little more safely. Okay, back to this. Painting sound effects really help my art. If your colors are running together, use less water. And then wait for things to dry. Which I hate to do, but I am impatient, so I get that. But it does help. I use mail. I take every sheet of paper that comes to me, cut it in half, staple into pads. Yeah, that is a great way to do it. I think if there's too much text on it, which most stuff that I'm recycling does have too much text on it, I can't use that. But hi, Jamie Brown. How's it going? Okay, so this is very, 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 very red. We're gonna let that dry down. We're gonna go over it with something to help tone it down. Probably some browns, some purples. I'm doing all right. I'm on, I started drinking coffee at like noon. It was a big cup of coffee. We still got a little bit left, and I'm feeling very good now. But I got to sleep in, so that was great. But yeah, this is painting number 2. We did Cassian Andor just a little bit ago, and working on finishing up Marva here. Oh, I forgot. Her eyebrows. She would probably enjoy having her eyebrows. That helps a lot. There we go. Okay, I think I'm gonna use a flexier brush. So I keep switching between the gold and the silver brushes. The gold handled ones are softer bristles and the silver ones are stiffer bristles. So they're operating differently depending on which one I'm using. And I'm really learning that I like both for different reasons. So I keep switching back and forth. I can't see or get to my paints up there. Let's do purple shadows in her red coat. I think that's gonna look really cool. Actually, some of this goes on to her vest there. Thank you so much. You just jumped to #1 gifter. Sorry, I sometimes miss what it is because I'm in the zone. But appreciate the gift. Just doing a little chill lo-fi Star Wars painting and music today. Oops, that is the wrong color. Let's do that. But I love this part with the shadows when everything really starts to pop out. And my page is getting too wiggly. Chill out there. Thank you so much, Paul. I'm practicing. Definitely wanted to work on older people. It's an area you don't get a lot of practice or focus on. And I want to practice my portraits, and I didn't want to practice on people I know in case I fucked it up. So we're practicing on TV show characters that don't get offended if you mess up badly. So I hope it works out. Yeah, I was pretty happy with the line art I did for her face. It's very easy to go overboard with like too many lines. So I think I handled that all right and added a few more gentle ones with the watercolor. I think that worked out. I think I need to do a little more darker shadows in her vest still. Coming back on that. Yeah, it's, you don't see older people. You also don't see a lot of larger people in art practice. Like, I know when I was in art school, I guess we had a pretty diverse set of models. I remember doing a larger gentleman, but a lot of people focus on, pretty thin, usually white models. And I remember realizing at some point in adulthood that, like, we never had lessons on how fat lays on the body. Hello, Asher. Welcome. Have you been asleep this whole time? But yeah, I was like offended that like there's a whole subset of body types that we just completely ignored in school. And I really wish someone had taught a section on how that works, because it's common. Oh, hi. What? Goodness. Meow. Mm-hmm. Yes, baby kitty. Baby kitty who demands attention. Also, his chair has been taken away, so he might be offended about that. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Usually you go lie on the bed, though, which you're probably going to do here in about 2 minutes. I'm petting a cat and painting at the same time. Okay. Oop, nope. He's on the table. Okay. You want to come say hello? And then I'm going to toss you on the bed? Kitty. Kitty has entered the live. So has Bethany. Hello, Bethany. Here's my cat. Here's baby. Hello. Say hello. Hello. Alien kitty. Give you some chin scritches. Oh. Yeah. And then we're going to go over here. Yeet. And he's back. I know. Not right now. Yes, he is here. He is being whiny. Usual, usual prerogative. Okay, so I'm also going to add some of this same cad yellow. She's got some light reflecting on here, and I sort of missed that. Oh, back to lunchtime. All right. Ooh, should I try my new ink, white ink? I finally got a little jar of Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White that I'm gonna try and use for some highlights. And I think it might be time for that. And I have a brush somewhere that I decided was gonna be my ink brush. I can find it. This one. This little guy. Because I don't know how this stuff works if it gets stuck in bristles. Oh, hello, Picasso. So I'm actually going to switch back to my Andor reference image somewhere in here. I am in the wrong album because I just ran into possum memes. Hold on. We're going to put a lid on this. Okay, maybe that's not appropriate for the internet right now. TikTok might get mad at me if I showed those. They're funny though. Ask about possum memes later. Cassian, that's what I'm looking for. Let's see where I missed my white highlights. move my million brushes over here, make sure y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay, I like to have, this is an old business card, just to help me sort of refine my point. And we have some white here. Okay. I think that works quite nicely, actually. What do you guys think of that? Tell me about it, Asher. Yeah, you feel better? You had a little sandbox time? Yeah. I painted the whole thing and I drew it first. Yes, both. Yep, I sketched it from an image. Oh no, kitty. No, 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 no. I'm gonna throw you again. You do not get on the table. Hoist. What was I saying? I don't know. Oh yeah, I sketched it from a photo reference. I can show you that. And give me just a second here. So this is the photo. So sketched it from that and then inked it and then painted. And we did Marva as well. All in one go. Well, not all the, I did the sketching and the inking like a couple weeks ago. But okay. Yeah, I think that's good there. Let's go back to my Marva reference photo, which is in a different album because I had to edit her. And she needs a twinkle in her eye. A little shine on her nose. And then some little wisps of hair here. Thank you, David. We're working on it. And that's about it. She doesn't have too many shiny spots. Just those eye highlights really help. But I think that might be it for me today. If you've enjoyed hanging out, don't forget to give a follow. I also have a new art studio tour that I just posted about my space on YouTube. If you want to go check that out. That was new this morning, and I'm kind of nervous about it, but it's out there now, so you can go check it out. But yeah, I'll be back doing more pages eventually. First, I have a trip to Italy coming up in a week, so I'm certain there will be some content about that soon. But first, I'm going to enjoy my trip, so. But thank you all for joining. It's good to see you guys. And see you again soon. Bye.